Hi, and welcome back to our third and final video in the Curaçao series. Up first, we're going to talk about rental cars, because you can't sightsee if you can't get around the island. All of the rental car counters are actually located outside of the main arrivals area in a covered breezeway. After you exit the main terminal, you're going to walk to your right, and you're going to see them lined up against the wall. After you check in at your rental car counter, they're going to give you the keys and some paperwork. You're going to continue walking down that covered breezeway where you're going to see a series of little stands. There you'll hand a gentleman your keys and paperwork, and he'll escort you out to the parking lot to get your rental car. To return your rental car, you just reverse this process. You park in that same lot, go back to the stands, hand the gentleman your keys and paperwork. He's going to go out and inspect your car, give you another slip of paper and the keys, and then you'll head back to that first rental car counter to turn everything in. You might be wondering what driving on the island is like. For us here in the States, it's not too bad because they drive on the same side of the road that we do. If you're driving on the southern end of the island, it is a very metropolitan area, so there's lots of stoplights, roundabouts, and traffic, as you can see here. But once you're driving on the northern end of the island, things are very different. There's a lot less traffic, no traffic lights at all, and we found a lot of really cute country roads. As a bonus tip, I thought I would include the name of the car wash that we used in the town of Curacao. We absolutely had to get our car washed and detailed before we could turn it back into the rental car company, and these guys did an amazing job. A full wash and detail only cost us $20 US. Now that we have all the rental car details we need, let's talk about our first stop, Hato Cave. Hato Cave is a cave system located on the island just up the street from the airport. It costs $10 US per person for a guided tour, and the tours leave every hour on the hour. This particular cave system is in a cliff wall, therefore you must go up about 50 stairs to get to the entrance. Once you're inside the caves, the temperatures are actually a little bit warmer than they are outside of the cave because the humidity is so much higher. However, they do have a lot of fans to try and keep the air moving. Photos and videos are limited once you're inside of the cave, but it is a 40-minute tour and they do give you a lot of really great information. Moving north on the island, we come to Shete Boka National Park. Once you pay your $10 per person entry fee, there are many different areas for you to explore within the park. There are two ways to see all the different areas of the park. Either you can drive to each one, or you can park in the main lot and then walk along the trail. We opted to drive, and our first stop was Boka Pistol. This particular area is known for the waves that come in and crash along the jagged shoreline, causing huge wave sprays. From there, we drove clear across the other side of the park to Boka Wataluma, which is the natural land bridge. Due to strong currents and rough waters, you're not allowed to swim at this beach. However, you can use the stairs to go down one side, across the sand, and then up the stairs on the other to get to the natural land bridge. Lastly, we drove back to the center, which is also the entrance of the park, to view Boka Tabla and the cave. After parking, you will have to get out and walk part of the trail to see both of these viewing areas. First, you'll walk out to the Boca Tabla overlook spot. From there, you'll circle back around down into the cave, and once you're in the cave, you're actually under the area that we are currently standing on. This wooden viewing platform is just outside of the cave entrance, and before you enter the cave, you're definitely going to want to put your phone away, as you're going to want to hold onto the railing as you go down these natural steps, and you also need to make sure you watch your head.
You gonna go first?
At the bottom of the cave, you'll be standing on a man-made graded platform, and you will definitely get some amazing video and photos while there. Up next is Watumula Hole. This is located on the northernmost end of the island. For those of you who like to do a little off-roading, getting out here is definitely for you. It's also why we had to get our rental car detailed before we could return it. This part of the island is exactly what I would picture walking on the moon would be like. This landscape is so different than any other place we visited on the island, and it's just absolutely breathtaking. I do need to tell you that this rock is extremely sharp and very uneven, so making sure you have on really good shoes is a definite if you go to visit this area. I also feel like I should mention that there's no type of safety rails anywhere along this cliff edge or around Watumula Hole itself, so if you're traveling with children, you might want to skip this. Along the cliff edge, there are actually smaller holes that are beginning to open up. If you're brave like my husband, you can stick your very expensive cell phone at the end of a very long selfie stick, put it down one of these holes just to see what you can find. If you are willing to off-road and then brave the moon-like conditions to get to Watumula Hole, you're probably also brave enough to go a little bit further to Secret Beach. To find Secret Beach, first we had to drive along an overgrown path shown here in red. Then we reached a spot where we had to park, and then we needed to hike along this path marked in blue. The end of that path put us back at the cliff's edge where we had to walk to the left to get to the top of Secret Beach, where we then had to climb down the embankment. Once we reached the top of the beach, we realized we were going to have to follow these yellow markings down the steep embankment, so we really couldn't film as we traveled down. You can see that there's a lot of big rocks and boulders, so again, making sure you have the right shoes on will be super helpful here. We have been told that you can swim and snorkel in this area, however, the water seemed pretty rough when we were there, so we opted not to. Now we're going to travel all the way back down the west coast to the capital of Willemstad. We've broken this up into things that we saw on either side of the pedestrian bridge, just to give you a little better idea of where things are located. Since we were on the island for an entire week, we were able to visit Willemstad both during the day and then again in the evening to really get a feel for what this city is like. In all of the research that we did for where to eat on the island, This particular outdoor market always showed up on the list, and once we got here and sampled the food for ourselves, it wasn't hard to understand why. It is important to note that all of these vendors only accept cash, and even though you're seeing all of the prices in Curaçao's currency, they do accept American money. The way the market works is you walk up to the counter and order off of the menu. They then ask you where you're going to sit. You pick a picnic table which you might be sharing with total strangers. They bring your food directly to your table, and when you're done eating, they bring you the bill and you pay in cash. They definitely do have things on the menu that you're used to eating, but if you want to be a little more adventurous, you can try things like goat or even iguana. Now we're going to venture across the Queen Emma Bridge and explore the other side of the port. If the street vendors don't have the particular souvenirs you're looking to take home, then you should definitely stop at Riff Fort. Originally built in the early 1800s, this fort has now been refurbished into a shopping area with restaurants and stores. The restaurants located at the top of the fort walls have a beautiful view overlooking the ocean, and this is where we chose to eat dinner one evening. This particular restaurant is not only on the top of the fort, but it is at the opening of the port entrance, so from here you can actually see the cruise ships. They do have a wide selection of items on the menu for you to choose from, so no matter what you're in the mood for, they definitely have you covered. If you watched part 1 of our Curaçao series, you know that we stayed at an all-inclusive. So this was the only time during our week's stay that we ate dinner off the resort, and we were actually really glad that we chose here. Last up on our sightseeing tour is the Ostrich Farm. When I found this place online, I did a little bit of research and decided this was some place that I definitely wanted to get to while we were on the island. You're definitely going to want to check out their website to see all of the different things they have to offer, but once you're done exploring the little gift shop area, you can walk straight out the back into the restaurant area, and then off to the side they do have an area for the kids to play while you're waiting for your tour to begin. Tours do begin every hour on the hour. Once your tour begins, you're going to pile into this open-air bus that's going to drive you around the property. Once you start driving around the property, the bus driver is going to stop at all of the various areas on the farm and share with you a lot of interesting facts and information about ostriches. Towards the end of the tour, you'll actually be able to feed the ostriches not only out of this bucket, but also out of your hand. At the very end of the tour, to prove to you just how strong ostrich eggs are, they allow you the opportunity to stand on one. Once the tour is completely done, make sure you head over to the restaurant to enjoy something to eat and drink. We opted to go with an ostrich burger since we were on an ostrich farm. After all of our different experiences on this island, we really feel like we got to taste just a little bit of everything this island has to offer. But was there something we missed? If so, let us know below in the comments. We truly appreciate you sticking with us to the end of this video. We hope you'll consider subscribing and checking out the rest of the content on our channel. Thank you so much for watching, and happy travels.